Hi everyone, I'm Rubina Khan and welcome to my corner of the world with Rubina's Radar. It's a series of conversations I'm going to be having with visionaries and designers from across the world's fashion landscapes on the gram every week, and I hope you join me and enjoy them, of course, more importantly. Today on the first edition of Rubina's Radar, I have none other than India's most beloved couturier, Rohit Bal, and he's as beautiful as the clothes and the designs that he creates.
Hi, this is on Rohit Bal official.
No, it's fine. You are Rohit Bal official. That's fine.
No, but I don't have any followers on accessories as yet.
Okay, so hi Rohit. Good evening. You're looking very, very dapper. But when
Okay,
you're not.
Thank you. But I just want to know, where am I on? Am I on accessories? Am I on official?
You are with me on official.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So, am I supposed to just sit here, or can walk around?
If you walk around, the network would break.
Okay, fine. So I'm sitting here, right here.
Okay. So
hi Rubina, how are you?
I'm good, Rohit, as usual. Always a pleasure to see your handsome face.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind.
No, I'm not kind. I'm honest and brutally so. So let's start with the question that you're a big art connoisseur.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, you're such an art connoisseur, and I almost feel like you are like an encyclopedia of the arts. Do you think art has influenced your penchant for art and understanding the depth of it has created this vision that you've created for your design company? Does that stimulate you?
I think it's always been art related, and art comes in many ways, many forms, in so many different the art is kind of all around you if you really look at it, if you really look for it, and if you really find it. You can find art at the point of a needle, or you can find art in almost anything around you. Yes, art, and a lot of flora and fauna, actually, for me. I mean, which is, I suppose, art from nature. So it has been a lot of inspiration in Kashmir, as everyone knows. There's no, I don't need to say that again and again. It's very obvious now, and
yes.
But I think there's been a combination and synergy between man-made art and art from nature. I think there's been a combination of both. There's been artists. There's been architecture. Architecture has been a huge inspiration for me. Then there's, of course, also been music. I get very inspired with music, by music. I also get inspired by the written word. I also get inspired by books, written work, written words, written anything. I get very inspired by the classics. I get very inspired by animals, by birds, lots of birds and lots of flowers. Actually, over the last couple of years, all my collections have been based on something called Husne Tairat. Husne Tairat literally.
Oh, that's my favorite collection of yours. You know that.
And mine too, actually. Husne Tairat, of course, translates into beauty of a bird. And for me, I think I find beauty in almost all animals, and I do a lot of animals. But then again, like I said, I think it's all about flora, fauna, and man-made art as well. So it's a combination. It's a beautiful synergy between all of these, because I think one flows into the other, and the other flows into the other. So I mean, it's just this continuous circle of art and beauty and thought and sensitivity. So all of these things put together, really, it's not just one thing.
Thank you. So tell me, what keeps you going on your drawing board and your design board in the current conditions that we live in? What is the one stimulus that...
It's really unfortunate what we're going through right now, and hoping that things get better, obviously, for the whole planet and for all humans on this planet. I think it's basically just this deep-rooted passion, which kind of isolates itself from what's happening around you. Sometimes it's something that comes from within. Yes, I know that we can get inspired as artists. We can get inspired from things around us, from things that surround us, and from things that we're a part of, and everything that's a part of our lives. Yes, we obviously get inspired by those, but that inspiration has to germinate within you. You have to make that inspiration grow inside of you. And for that reason, almost everything around me I need to absorb everything. So whether I'm listening to a piece of music by Bach or Mozart, or whether I'm listening to a Hindi a Bollywood song, or I'm seeing a beautiful painting, or I'm reading a beautiful book, or any of these things, or any of the above, all a combination of all these things, um, I just feel that it needs to come from within. So all the stuff that's happening around me right now. Uh, I'm back. Can you see me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Where were we?
You were
Where were
talking
we?
about art, and that everything has to be enveloped in art around you.
I know you've got to actually absorb everything around you. You've got to absorb the art. You've got to absorb all things beautiful, whatever inspires you, and then I was saying it has to germinate within you. You can't just take something and then translate it directly into fashion or into whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You've got to make it grow. You've got to feel it inside you, and then you come out with that with your own interpretation of what you see. So if I see a
Right.
flower, if I see a tulip or a poppy or any flower, or if I see an animal, if I see a bird or a peacock, or again any bird, I can't just pick up that peacock and say, okay, fine, put it on the clothes and be done with it. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for me, and I don't think it should work for anyone else, because then that is really not being a designer. That's just being someone who picks up things and just splatters them all around, whatever you're doing.
So
So I
like a
think
copy paste. Yeah.
exactly, it is copy pasted. I see that a lot. Unfortunately, I see that everywhere now. But all I'm saying is that as far as I'm concerned, and I can only talk for myself right now, I take whatever I see as an inspiration point, which I said could be almost anything, but I make it grow within me, and make it a part of me. I make it a part
Right.
of my own ethos, my thinking, my thought process, my design, creativity. I make it a part of me, and that's when I reproduce it. I produce it only once it becomes mine, and then no one can turn around, including myself, which is most important. No one can turn around and say, okay, हाँ, भाई तुमने तो ये मोर लेके उसमें डाल दिया. You understand what I'm trying to say? ये तुमने पत्ते लगा दिए, फूल लगा दिए, ये क्या है? तुम्हारा डिजाइन कहाँ पे है इसमें? You understand? So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
whole thing about तुम्हारा क्या डिजाइन है इसमें, तुम्हारी क्या interpretation है, तो तुमने क्या किया है? That to me is very important as a designer, and it should be too. Otherwise, I could write a book by taking any other great classic and just copy it and say I've written it, because I haven't written it. So it's not my book really, right? You understand? In the
Yeah.
same way, I can't take just something that exists. I can't take like for instance, I remember doing a collection on this on the works of this brilliant artist called Ram Kumar, and it wasn't that I
I know
just
you
took.
love his work.
Yeah, I know, I love his work, and the thing is, this was many years ago. I can't just I didn't just take his painting. Okay, fine, make a print of it and let me put it on my clothes. I mean, that is not what we did. I just got inspired by the way he, his strokes, his imagination, his colors, and I was trying to. Went and met him so many times, and I spent time with him to figure out what goes on in his mind. And that's when I did a collection. I've done collections based on many artists' work, but I'm just saying, giving you this as an example, because his work is very abstract. So I'm just saying that you can work with an artist, you can work with any kind of art, you can work with any music, but you can't. You have to make it your own. That is when I can say you're a designer or you're a creative person. You've got to let your own creative juices come out in your own, with your soul in them, not somebody else's. I mean, I can't just, like I said, I'm sitting right now looking at these beautiful trees. They're absolutely stunning, but I can't just take that tree and put it on something and say, okay, fine, this is mine. But it's not mine. It's God's. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, everything is God. But I'm just saying that, yes, I do a lot of flowers, and sometimes I must say this because it's very important. It's very, very difficult to stay away from the natural form of nature's beauty. Very difficult to stay away from it because it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect, and sometimes it's also very difficult to stay away from the beauty of architecture. I mean, I did a collection. I did a collection called Pietra Dura, which basically means stone inlay from in Italian, and I did a whole collection based on the Pietra Dura on the Taj Mahal. And the Taj Mahal is almost perfection as far as I'm concerned. Every corner, every inch is perfect. But when I did that collection, it was one of the my most successful collections till now. It was very difficult to actually try and stay away from just copy pasting it because it was perfect the way it was. But we had our own interpretations of it. We did our own colors. We changed the things around. But the concept was from the Taj Mahal. But it wasn't really only from the Taj Mahal. It was from Piazza Dura all over the world. You understand?
Right.
I mean, mostly from Persia and from Italy and obviously in India. India was, I think Piazza Dura came to India with the Mughals. But I'm just saying that you have to have your own way of looking at things. If you don't have your own way, then that is not the right way.
But then that's why you're a genius and a master, because you have the master stroke.
I can't say anything about myself. I can't say anything
No,
about
I
myself.
believe that.
I know that's very kind of you. You're being very kind and very generous with your compliments, Rubina. But I'm just saying that I'm just saying it as it is. This is the way I feel, and this is the way I'm expecting most creative people to feel. They've got to have their own soul. Literally, their own soul needs to be in everything that they create. Absolutely, anywhere. I mean,
Sorry.
No, that's it. I think I've rambled on and on.
But tell me, what is your fascination with the two? That those are always repeat performers in your collections. Is the Lotus and the Peacock, both shining symbols of vintage and modern India. So, what is the reason you keep going back to the two?
I don't know. I see. I think and it's very strange because I mean, of course, the Lotus comes from Kashmir, which is where I grew up, and which is where I get my Lotus from. And obviously, I just find the Lotus absolutely, absolutely beautiful in its form, and in the way it is. Also, the fact that it grows out of nothing, and the fact that it's absolutely purely natural. It has its own distinct features of actually growing on its own. You can't really cultivate a lotus.
Yes.
There's a big difference between a water lily and a lotus. I'm talking about a lotus, which is different from water lily. Water lilies can be planted, can be grown, but a lotus actually grows on its own, and it really grows out of dirt. It grows out of ganda pani, literally. You can't grow a lotus in pristine, clear swimming pool water.
Well, that's what I find mesmerizing, that you turn it into such a work of art every time.
Absolutely, because for me, I just feel it's the most humble of all flowers, and also it's a flower of God. I mean, if you think about it, all our gods, our deities, our religious icons. I mean, everyone from all our main gods and goddesses. It's their flower. And when I started doing the Lotus, I didn't really think of it that way. And when I started doing the Lotus also, I didn't think of it being the national flower of India. It never occurred to me. I did Lotus for the Lotus's sake. You understand? And none of these other things actually were in my mind, because it was just something that I was passionately, madly in love with. I mean, I was in love with the Lotus ever since I was 4 years old or 5 years old, when we used to go on shikara rides in the lakes in Kashmir, in Nagin, or in even the Dal Lake. I mean, I was mesmerized by the Lotus. I was mesmerized with the way a water droplet runs around a lotus leaf, and the lotus leaf never gets wet. And I was mesmerized with the way that how tall the lotus grows on such a thin stem. Everything about the lotus is stunning. I can't describe the passion that I have for the lotus. And enough about the lotus. And my favorite one is the pink lotus, by the way, not the white or the yellow. It's always that genuine pink.
Yeah, that's the color.
Yeah, and the peacock, I just maybe find it. I have a weakness for beauty. I don't know how or where, but it just became as I became as passionate about the peacock as I am about the lotus, and the combination of both these things just is it completes me. It kind of fills my senses. Really, it really fills up my senses, and I think the combination of both is just something that I'll never ever tire of, and I don't think anyone can tire of these two most beautiful of things that God has created, and that's the story.
Everyone's about make in India and go local and be vocal for local. But you have been a make in India proponent since you started your design career in the 80s by supporting local craftsmen, your local vendors. So what steps have you now taken towards sustainability and to reduce your fashion footprint? I mean, you already had a minimal one because you're very local about your work. But what is something that has changed in the design house towards the current climate that we are living in?
Sorry, which last? I didn't get the last bit.
In the current climate that we are living in, so there has to be certain
Okay. Well,
certain steps taken
see,
for
Rubina. The thing is,
sustainability.
you've got to understand one thing, that as a designer, and I've been doing it for almost 35 years, maybe 32.
Mhm.
You must understand that nothing around me is going to change my design sensibility. Nothing.
Right.
It could be what we're going through right now, this wretched COVID. It could be anything else. It could be an earthquake. It could be anything. But in as far as I'm concerned, God forbid if any of these things were to happen, and one of them has already happened, but I'm just saying any other disaster, it would not change the way I think about design. My design sensibility is deeply ingrained and is constant within me. I cannot do anything about that. That will always be the same. I might do it lesser, I might do it more. I might produce more, I might produce less, but the design is always going to be the same.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be slight, the variation in the prices, or in the number of pieces you're selling, or the number of collections you're making. We could be making smaller collections right now, but then it would be exactly what Rohit Bal, the brand, has done for the last 30 years. And the one thing that I go on and on about is be Indian, buy Indian, because we have so much here.
Yeah.
And it will take a million lifetimes to even try and cover what we've got as art and heritage and culture and beauty and textile and fashion in India, in our country. So why go looking elsewhere?
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that people shouldn't. I mean, maybe people want to do a very global and a very international, and bring. I mean, I've also done lots of things from other parts of the world. I mean, I've done a whole collection on Topkapi. I've done so many collections based on so many different countries in the world. But those have also been those have been Indianized. I've done a whole collection on Iznik, for instance, which is also one of my most successful collections. But I've Indianized them. I have not just taken up and not just gone to where they make Iznik tile. I've not just picked up the tile and said, okay, fine, this tile goes here and this print from this tile goes there, and voila, I've done the outfit and I've done the collection. No, it hasn't been that. It's been months of R&D. It's been months of research in trying to Indianize that, adding Indian elements to it, adding Indian colors to it, making it look Indian. So if I've done a collection called Isnik, which was actually called Siahi, the term itself was Siahi, which is so Indian, can't be more Indian than that. I made the whole collection which looked Indian at the end of the day. I mean, it no one could say that this is something that's just been copy pasted, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So there's many examples of that where I've done so many things, and which I've taken. So it's not that I've not taken beautiful and or adopted beauty from other cultures. I have, but I've made them Indian first. I made them mine. I made them mine, and only then have I had the guts or the courage to put them out in the market under the brand label Rohit Bal. I'm obsessed with Indianness. I'm obsessed with Indian art. I'm obsessed with everything Indian. I'm obsessed with Indian craft, basically. I don't ever use fabrics from China or from South Korea or from Japan or anywhere else in the world.
That's sustainability right there. You've always been doing that.
I've always used Indian textiles. I'm crazy about Indian textiles, even though Indian textiles are not the best textiles for stitching up, because Indian textiles were actually originally made for draping. Whether it was a sari or a dhoti or the turban or whatever it is, because we didn't really have, before the Mughals came in, we didn't really have many sewn or stitched garments. Indian women and men always wore draped garments. Only when the Mughals came in, we started doing the chogas and the robes and the sherwanis, blah blah blah. But
no, this was about the whole conversation about reducing the fashion footprint. So you've already been a proponent of reducing it. So you've never really had too much of a footprint. I mean, I'm sure you have a footprint. Any production has a footprint.
Right.
But because you've kept it local, you don't have to really go back to the board to think of how much to do, and because you're not been importing from various countries the synthetic yarn.
I've never had that problem. Yes, we do import certain things which are not being done in India. Like, for instance, we've just launched our denim collection, which is called Alexander Jeans.
Alexander Jeans, yeah.
For that, of course, there are lots of things which we originally had to import, like the buttons and the rivets, and a few other things like zippers and stuff. And we still import zippers for almost everything. And I think, unfortunately, we've got to keep doing that because we can't make good zippers in India. I mean, that's just one of those situations. But one of the things one of the situations one has to deal with. But I'm saying at the end of the day, my whole denim collection has been made entirely in India, manufactured in India. The embroideries have been done by us. The embroideries are very Indian. There's birds and flowers, like I told you. My passion for birds and flowers one, and we've just launched them right now. I'm kind of obsessed with everything Indian. I mean, there's this new app that I'm obsessed with these days. I'm spending a lot of time on that app. It's crazy. And what kills me and what absolutely makes me fall madly in love with Lelogy, has made me fall madly in love with Lelogy, is the fact that it's so fucking Indian. It's Indian to the core. I mean, those things and those stickers can only be for India and can only happen in India. I mean, Moti Bhains. I mean, really? It's incredible. And my God, I spend almost 3 hours a day on Lelogy because for me, again, this is this whole Indianness which is so strong. And that Indianness is also part of me. So that's why it comes out in everything I do. Huh?
It resonates with you because of its Indianness.
Absolutely. And also, typical Indian. Typical Indian,
I know.
It's unbelievable.
I receive a lot of these Lelojis via you.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm well aware of it.
Because they say just like it's meant to be said, in a lovely, desi, Indian, typical. So, I mean, I'm just saying that just like that. I mean, I don't have an app. I'm a designer. I do fashion. But my fashion also resonates with Indian. And in any which way you look at it, there's Indianness everywhere. I even try to avoid using, using things like sequins or beads or, things like this. I mean, which are not Indian. I even try to avoid those. I mean, I'm not saying that I won't do them and that I'm crazy about the fact that, oh my God, nothing which is not made in India is going to ever come into my collection. That's not the way it is. But I'm just saying most times I'm Indian. I insist, buy Indian. And I think
and stay Indian to the roots of our culture.
It's just passion, and I just feel that we have such an incredible culture, so much heritage, such incredible costume, and such incredible textiles. I just feel that we need to really, 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 we need to kind of love them, keep them alive, revive some techniques. There's so many techniques in Indian fashion, in textiles, tie and dye, bandage. I mean, crinkling. I mean, my mukesh. I mean, chicken curry, zardozi. I mean, it's endless. The list is endless. I mean, from the Nakashi, from the Jamewar of Kashmir to the Kanjivaram sarees in the south, to the Maheshwaris, to the Chanderis, to the cutwork, Banarsi brocade, Dhakai. I mean, my God, it's endless. Why do we even think of going in it from the Paitani to, Paitani is perhaps one of the oldest forms of weaving known to mankind. I mean, look at our muslin, our malmal. If I had my way, I would only use malmal all my life. Malmal, of course, as we know, is favored to have been the first fabric that was made in the world and was exported to Egypt. While Egypt had its linen, we had our muslin and our malmal. Everything was in malmal. Today, you give me an opportunity that I will make everything in malmal. I will make everything in ikru malmal. I will not even dye it or color it or anything. But I'm just saying that we've got to make a living as well. So, and look at the Indian silks. Indian silks are famous. The Indian silks used to go to Greece during the time of Alexander and before. I mean, even before Alexander, they were being worn by the Greeks and the Romans like 2 millennia ago. I mean, what are we talking about? And now we're going to China to buy cheap polyester and making clothes out of those. I mean, that's hideous, absolutely hideous. And I find people who do it, I would tell them on their face that they're really disastrous for my country, that they should not even be allowed to do anything here, because how dare they? How dare they buy fabrics from China and South Korea, Japan? What rubbish! Do we not have enough of our own? We have millions of things of ours, which we haven't even the tip of the iceberg, we haven't touched it yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying that I just find it all very irritating. I get very
You know,
annoyed.
you'd be surprised, since bridal couture is such a big deal in our country. You know, I try to talk to people about kamkhab and no one knows what it is. Of course, you know.
What?
But kamkhab, the fabric.
Then
You
what
know,
happened?
the biggest people that I speak with or something, they have no idea what this is.
No, but
You know,
why
they
would
always
they?
give me.
Why
I
would
don't
they?
know
You
because
give
it's
them,
such an intrinsic Indian technique.
ask them about nylon polyester. They'll tell you everything.
Oh well, no, I'm not interested in
Yeah,
nylon
that's what they
polyester.
ask them. No, then they know what and what. You know, oh, you know this. I mean, the other day somebody asked me. You know, we do uniforms, and I mean, it's very difficult for me to convince people. You know, most uniforms are done like with a poly blend, polyester, because it lasts and doesn't have to wash, and you know, wash it, and you know, it can last for years. Da, da, da. And I said, I'm sorry. You want me to make a uniform? I'll either use linen or I'll use cotton, made in India, whatever. I mean, linen is also made in India now. I mean, I've been an exponent and brand ambassador for the Linen Club for so many years. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. So the guy said, no, but how will we keep washing them? I said, that's your problem, not mine. Otherwise, go to somebody else who does all this polyurethane or whatever they're called. So, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't touch any of these synthetic fabrics with the barge pole, really.
So, what's the recurring fashion request you've had in these times for couture? You know, for brides and grooms, because I know that you've had a busy season. You are having a busy season.
Pretty much the
So,
same.
what is something that has changed in people? What's the different
Yeah,
request?
just the fact that during COVID and obviously even now, weddings, marriages, you know, events, parties, cocktail dinners, blah blah blah. All of them have, uh, well, outside of the wedding, everything has almost vanished. You know, everything has become very sort of family and only friends and close friends and relatives. Da 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 da. So obviously everything has become smaller, and the prices have gone down a lot because people don't want to spend so much on a wedding which is only going to be attended by 50 people. So that's the main difference. The main change that has happened is that things have been toned down, but the design philosophy remains the same. I reiterate this fact again and again. The design will remain the same. I will not make a compromise on the design. I will tell them, okay, fine, I will do the same design. I will do it in a smaller area, but the design won't change. The technique won't change. I will not suddenly switch to start doing everything made by machine or everything kind of computerized or everything kind of digitally printed. No, that's not the way we do. That's not the way we work. So, I mean, it's been a challenge. It's been a huge challenge, but I don't think the challenge has only been for me. I think the challenge has been for the entire fraternity. Forget the design fraternity. I think every single business in the world, and I think fashion being a little more sensitive and a little more delicate, and I think a little obviously a little more kind of uncertain. You know, fashion is uncertain. I think obviously it affected the design industry a lot more, and especially with you know, the fact that we are actually dependent on our karigars and on our obviously, you know, our tailors, our karigars, and people who do a lot of handwork. And during COVID, of course, a lot of them had to go home, and so yes, it was disastrous. And but there was nobody out there to help us really. I mean, no help from the government, no help from anyone. So we really had to survive on our own, and that's what we're still doing. I mean, business is picked up, but it's nothing compared to what it was. So right now, our mantra is basically survival. You know, and it's not really about making tons of money or anything. It's just about surviving and keeping the people you have, and you know, keeping your brand alive.
And keeping safe your people and yourself.
We're extremely strict. We have these sanitization tunnels outside our factories, outside you know, every workplace that we have. We're getting tests done now for everyone, and we're making sure that everyone's wearing their masks and their gloves, and you know, trying to be as careful as possible. And touch wood, up till now, we haven't had any case in our workplaces, which is, I think, quite an achievement. And I've been keeping absolutely safe. I've barely stepped out of the house for the last 9 months. And I've only started going out now, but not going out anywhere, just going to my studio where I sit in my private room where nobody comes in, nobody goes out. I speak through a window to my staff or to my, I don't meet clients. I haven't met a client for the last 9 to 10 months. But everyone realizes that, everyone understands that. That's another thing we have here. नहीं नहीं नहीं, रोहित नहीं मिलेगा तो हम क्यों ऑर्डर करें? तो हम तो वहां जाएंगे, हम तो वहां जाएंगे. वो तो मिल रहे हैं, आप क्यों नहीं मिल रहे? Just, you know, that's the way I am. I'm sorry, go wherever you want. But for me right now, my only wealth and my only ambition right now is to keep safe and stay healthy, because without that there's nothing.
Of course. I'm
Without
so
that
glad
there's
you
nothing.
reiterated all this.
Yeah, it's very important. You must stay healthy before anything else. I mean, all of your ambitions and all of your desires, whatever they are, they can wait for a while. They
Okay,
can
I'm going
wait
to
for a
ask
while.
you to do something.
Yeah.
Can you tilt your phone so that people can see that the cool clothes you're wearing?
Oh,
You look
actually,
like
I'm not
a
wearing.
star. Oh,
I'm
the
actually just
Maharaja
wearing
of
a
the
little.
show.
I'm
Yeah,
wearing a
yeah.
little.
Yeah.
I will call it chenille, because I don't want to call it velvet. It's a little. It's a chenille जिससे रजाई बनती है. जिससे रजाई बनती है. Chenille की रजाई. I'm wearing a kind of a razai that's been converted into a sherwani or an achkan, and I'm wearing a white cotton shirt, and that's it. Simple. And
Okay, let's go back
I've
to
got
your
a bit of
face. The face
got a
looks great.
got a bit of a beard, which is kind of
Oh,
okay.
beautiful face.
It's fine.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Have you been shopping online?
Yes, I've been shopping online like a freak, and I
Tell
think
me, what have you bought?
it's like I think there's a coronavirus, and then there's an online shopping virus. There are two that exist during this period. So I've been attacked by one, which is the latter, which is online shopping, and I've never done that. I've never done so much online shopping in my life. I've never done so much rubbish shopping in my life also. Like
But what have you
anything,
been buying? What's the
like
main thing?
everything, from masalas to shoes to clothes like sportswear, and everything, anything. My house is, it's like a warehouse. Oh my God! I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm buying the most ridiculous things. Things that I would never ever buy in my life.
So
But I'm
now
buying them.
Rohit Bal has become
I've got a kitchen. I've got a kitchen
hoarder.
full of
You
I've
become
got
a
a
hoarder.
kitchen full of stuff, which is. I mean, I'm never going to eat it. I'm never going to eat it. It's all going to expire. The expiry dates are going to come and go. But it's just this thing of sitting at home, and what do you do? So, okay, fine, let's buy something. And so when you go to one thing, you go to another thing. I mean, I bought everything. I bought everything online over the last, and it's mostly been Amazon. And of course, I've found one new online website, which is called Grofer. Grofer is very good. So I've been buying all my stuff from there. And because I don't want my house staff to go out into the market and buy,
That's
because I
very
don't want them
considerate
to.
and
Yeah.
very right.
So I'm
That's
getting
what should be
everything
done.
at home. I'm getting all my mutton, my chicken, fish. I'm getting that from a place called Licious. They deliver it home, so my guys don't have to go and stand in those places where they sell mutton and all that. Now, of course, we're not eating chicken because of this wretched bird flu. But even so, like I said, I made sure that my guys don't need to go out anywhere, and that everything comes home. And then we keep it for a while, then we get it sanitized, and then we use it. So we've been extra cautious, and I think that's a great thing. I wish everyone is being extra cautious, and I think being safe is the most important thing. And I know that the numbers of the cases have gone down drastically, and thank God for that in Delhi and in Bombay as well. But we shouldn't take anything for granted. We should not be complacent. We should still be careful. And also during this time, I've been also manufacturing a lot of masks.
Oh, yes.
We've been making lots
I
of
must
masks.
endorse them, please, please. I
Yes,
think they're the best masks in India. I only wear them. I wash them. Nothing happens to them. And every time I wear them, everyone wants to know whose they are.
That's really sweet. And the thing is that we actually, before we started making the masks, we actually did a lot of research on masks. We actually got companies that were making antibacterial fabrics and textiles, and we tested a lot of masks with these fabrics. And the most important thing was, when you wear your mask, you need to be able to breathe really easy and not feel suffocated. So we tried all of that. So it took us almost 2 months of R&D. We actually had the courage to do these masks, because it's something as it's like underwear. It's like as close to you as possible.
That is
can't
true.
get
It's a
any
very
closer than
intimate
that. Very intimate.
accessory, if you ask me.
So then once we got that done, then we started manufacturing. We're selling them everywhere, and we're selling them to some international companies as well. And so we're doing a lot of masks, and that is actually both, in a way, you feel somehow you feel it. You also, I mean, even though we're not giving them out for free, I'm going to be honest about that. You still feel that you're doing something which is eventually protecting people.
Yes.
So
It's a
it's not that
contribution.
I'm not going to be noble and say, oh my God, we donated so many masks. No, that's not true. But the fact is this, we're still making them, and we're making safe masks. We're
And
not
in my
making
humble
masks just
opinion,
with
I
any
do think
fabric and you
your,
put it on and sell it to people. That's not what we're doing.
and
Tell
I
me.
also think, in my opinion, your masks are very well priced for the label that it comes from, which is
Yeah,
yours.
and we made
The
we,
packaging, the
well,
design,
we
it's
made
just
sure that they were
very
well
good.
priced. We made sure they were well priced. It's like, quite honestly, it's like, uh, Rubina, if you look at it, it's really like, when you're selling medicine, or like for instance, now you have, you have your Covaxin and your other various
Yeah.
medicines, whether they're being done by Pfizer, and it's very important that the price, especially in India, prices are kept low, because this is also like a medicine. A mask is a medicine. I mean, it's actually
Yeah.
a medicine. You're wearing it to protect yourself, and you're eating
Yeah.
medicines to protect yourself as well. So you've got to keep the prices which are attractive to almost everyone. In fact, we've got a range
Yeah.
of masks which is half the price of maybe what you bought it at. I don't know, because we also want to distribute them to a lot of people who can't afford to buy it at this price. So
Right.
I think. And I know that people are going to carry, even with the vaccine here, people are going to keep wearing their masks for a while. They're not going to stop wearing masks.
No, no,
And
it's a
yeah,
thing now.
I just read yesterday in one of those important health information sites that even when you get yourself vaccinated, you can still infect other people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that is quite scary, because it's not that you're
No, because
vaccinated and
if you are
don't,
asymptomatic,
you're
does
not going to
not
get.
mean
You can be a
the
carrier.
other person.
Yeah, yeah, you can still be a carrier because of the
And there's
vaccination.
still data being researched on
Yes,
this. So there's no
absolutely. So I'm not. I haven't.
confirmation. It's a
I'm
constant
not.
research.
I'm not taking the vaccination for some time to come, because I just feel that I'd rather be safe than be sorry. I mean, I don't know what the vaccination is going to do. I'm hoping that it's fantastic and it's the end of all the problems in the world right now. But there have been some adverse cases, so I think one needs to look, and one needs to kind of keep yourself safe. We've done it for 10 months. We can do it for another 2. It's not a big
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
people who feel they need to get vaccinated, obviously it's free will, and they should go ahead and get themselves vaccinated. And I just feel that I already have a lot of allergies, and so it's not very safe for me to get it. So
Oh, yeah, that's been
I'm
announced
staying
already.
put.
Yeah.
I'm staying put. I'm watching. I'm waiting and watching, and let's see what happens. Inshallah, everything will be fine.
Inshallah. So, what part of your personality or your persona has changed, transformed? Any deep or shallow realizations in this alone time?
Uh, can I be really honest?
Yes, of course.
Nothing
That's
much
our
has
thing.
changed. Nothing much has changed. Actually, I'm exactly the same person as I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very difficult for a leopard to change its spots, especially when you're my age. It's very difficult for me to change as a person. I'm just the same person. The only difference is that I don't see. The thing is, contrary to what a lot of people believe or think about me, I am not this big party animal at all.
Mm.
I never go out anywhere. I don't think I've been out to a restaurant to eat in the past 3 or 4 years, quite honestly. I haven't been out anywhere. I don't go to nightclubs. I don't even go to parties. I might have gone to people's homes who are very close to me for very private or very small, if it's a really special occasion, wedding, maybe obviously a wedding which didn't happen. But if it's someone really close to me, or maybe his birthday or something like that, I would go. But I would only just go before anyone else landed up. And in any case, everyone was only calling 4 or 5 people. So
Yeah, yeah.
it really didn't make any difference to me. I mean, like I said, I've only started going to my studio now the last month. Before that, I was actually at home. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere at all. And so, but the thing is that the only difference is obviously that I'm not going to work. I'm not going to my factory or to my offices or anything. That's the only difference. Otherwise, everything else is the same, and I'm quite happy. Quite honestly. In fact,
That's good.
I don't know कि जब ये खत्म होगा तो कैसे जाएंगे काम पे वापस? Because we've
Yeah.
got this whole thing going on now. आराम
And
से
the
बैठो घर
separation
पे.
anxiety from your house and you.
हाँ, phone पे काम
Separation
करो सारा.
anxiety हो जाएगी.
Absolutely हो जाएगी, seriously. And I'm doing up my place, and I've got I've got this thing going on. I've built this place, and so I'm doing that up, and also for that, I'm not really going out to buy anything. 10 different diets in the last 9 months, and right now I'm on a fish diet, for instance. So I think there's lots of stuff to do, even if you're, and I've not been alone. A friend of mine or another friend of mine has been staying with me all through the last 9 months. And so I've not been alone. That is something I don't like. And I wouldn't have been able to
We've
manage
seen the
all that all
interesting
alone.
videos in yoga and Surya Namaskars.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Very
saying. So I've had
interesting
these friends
entertainment.
who are safe, and they when they've been staying with me, they've also not been allowed to go step out of the house. They've also been like almost like people who've been around the house and can't really leave. But that's what I said. If you want to come, you need to come and stay. You can't just come and visit me and go back and come back again. That's not allowed.
No, no.
So that's also happening. So like I said, I've been pretty good. I've been keeping myself busy with so many things, and I do all my work from home. We do all our sketches and all my research. I've got a million books that I go through now, which I've been going through during COVID, which I never went through for so many years. And also, I'm ordering a lot of books online. I'm doing a lot of books online, which I always wanted, but I didn't sort of get down to getting them. So, and of course, Amazon Zindabad. Everything is coming from Amazon, so it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Really, Amazon नहीं होता तो क्या करते हम? Think
Sachi,
about
I
it.
keep saying that to myself.
Yeah, seriously. So basically, I'm not bored. I mean, yes, maybe a little bit, but it's not that kind of boredom that you feel that, oh my God, मैं party भी नहीं गया हूँ, मैं यहाँ भी नहीं गया हूँ, मैं night club
Oh,
भी नहीं
yeah.
गया, ये क्या हो गया, वो क्या हो गया. Oh my God, fear of missing out, FOMO, nothing of the sort. So it's just
You're
been quite
comfortable
lovely.
in your
Actually.
own skin the way you were and the way you are now. It's a good balance. That's the
I
label
don't think
also,
see,
balance.
it's not the way I am now. I'm still the same.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're okay with both things, in
Yeah,
or
I'm
out.
fine. Yeah, in or out. The thing is, there wasn't much out. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. There wasn't much out anyway. I never went out anywhere at night. I know, and I mean, people are kind of going out, whatever, a little bit here. I mean, I wasn't. I was just happy being at home. I've become like this, home person, and I enjoy my home, and I have a fabulous set of chefs and people
Yeah, that's my
working
next
at home.
question. What have you
Yeah.
been eating and drinking? Can you please
Okay.
elaborate?
So I've been kind
Is
of.
it Vazwan or
I've
burger?
actually been I've actually been not drinking, which is actually very sensible during COVID, because otherwise you just keep drinking, you know. And if I know myself, in a situation like this, I would probably drink too much. So I just said, okay, fine, I'm not going to drink. So yes, I'm drinking. I'm drinking some red wine these days. Then I went through a phase where I was drinking lots of beer, but I kind of didn't really it didn't suit me. I just always felt bloated, and then of course I did go through a phase where I was trying to drink some very very lovely fine single malt whiskey, but that is something which is dangerous for me, because when I drink whiskey, I tend not to stop because I love whiskey, I love scotch, I love single malts. So then I said, may as well stop that. So now I'm sticking pretty much to red wine. I've never got food from outside. I'm not this person who orders in, because I have these great guys at home. I mean, one day I remember I ordered something, and my main chef, Fulchanji, who's an amazing fellow, and we've got another amazing guy from home. So I mean, these guys are such fantastic cooks that even if I do dare to get something from outside, they will sulk, and they will make sure that they make the same thing at home better.
Oh,
It could be anything. It could be as something as vague as spaghetti with meatballs, or something like mutton stew with appam or something. Anything. It could be like any of these things which you normally don't make at home. That these guys make it so well that I don't feel like ordering anything at all. Okay, fine. And I don't eat junk food. So I'm not a pizza person. I'm not a burger person. I don't eat any of this stuff, right? So I'm eating amazing food at home. Amazing food at home. I mean, these guys have been fantastic cooks all along. And then, of course, I have that whole beautiful thing of Kashmiri food. And this is the right weather. And so we do some Kashmiri food about twice a week. Not that much, because it's red meat, and I'm trying to stay away from red meat. But we have fantastic cooks at home, so I don't really feel the need to go out and or take out, get any kind of takeout or anything. No, we've been eating fantastic food. Anything.
I'm
In
very
fact,
envious now.
I've been making food and sending to people.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
yeah. So
I
the
want
last,
to ask you a very strange question, which you will accuse me of sensationalism.
right.
But I want to know, why am I imagining you in brocade sherwanis?
I I really
drinking
have
red
no.
wine.
Yeah,
And then
I
I want
really
to
have
ask you,
no.
what have you been wearing at home? Because I
Either you think.
honestly feel that you've been wearing nothing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I've been wearing nothing. Ooh, okay. Now that's good. That's awkward. Well, I've
No,
been
what I
wearing
mean is
nothing. I've
not
been
the
wearing nothing.
sherwanis. That's what I meant.
I've been,
I
yeah.
meant
So
that you're not wearing those kind of clothes.
I've been wearing nothing when I need to be wearing nothing. That's for sure. Obviously, right? And
Yeah.
that needs been happening. So that needs been fulfilled quite a bit. So
Okay,
that's
okay.
I'm not complaining about that. But as far as wearing brocade sherwanis and prancing around my terraces and balconies, you either think that I'm a kawali wala or a shehnai wala, or you think of me as some sort of Nawab from some past,
I think you're a
some
Nawab
past
or a
century.
Maharaja
Now,
for.
so actually, you can imagine me in brocades. You can also imagine me in chiffons and all sorts of glamorous things. You can imagine me as a Nawab, or you can imagine me as a Maharani. Also, you can imagine me as a courtesan. You can imagine me as a princess. I'm pretty kind of, I'm very versatile. I'm extremely
Good
versatile.
to know.
So you can pretty much imagine me in everything. And like I said, I pretty much dress to the occasion. But right now, I don't see any occasion to be sort of, wearing brocade sherwanis and lengas and shararas and gararas. So I'm pretty much in my boxer shorts. And now, because it's cold, I'm in my track pants and my my little hoodies and like this kind of I'm pretending to be younger than I am, but I've got this whole sporty kind of look going on. But guess what I'm wearing with my track pants? Show
Yeah,
you.
I was afraid to ask you that.
See?
Um, yes.
Can you see?
Yes, the shoes. Are these
Yeah, so
moccasins?
I'm wearing these patent leather moccasins, Todds, and so I kind of feel glamorous just with the shoes, and I'm glamorous anyway, so it doesn't
But are
matter.
you wearing pants right now? Or are you wearing
I'm
half
wearing track
pants?
pants. I'm wearing black track pants, but even my track pants and stuff, they look like pretty fashionable
They
chic
look like
clothes.
couture. You make it fashion.
I uh, I make it fashion. I make it me. I make it me, and I add stuff to it, so that kind of helps.
What kind of music are you listening to, and what gets you moving and grooving, if at all?
Uh, and as far as music is concerned, Rina, I really love all music. I love music in every way, in every form. The only kind of music I don't like is country western music, which I can't bear. I can't stand it. Everything else, I just went through a phase last month where I was only listening uh, to Kishori Amonkar, to Bhimsen Joshi, to classical singers of India, fantastic, unbelievable. And I listen to them all the time. And I went through that phase. Then, of course, I love disco. So I love in the evenings, and when I can't walk around, and I haven't done my walk, I put on some nice 70s disco and I dance to it. And, whoever else is with me. I do listen a lot to ghazals also, but I love Hindi, Bollywood music as well, and I also love listening to Western classical. So I mean, there's a lot of it. All depends on the kind of day I've had, or the kind of the most days are the same pretty much. But I do listen to all kinds of music. But I think right now, what's right on top of my list is actually Indian classical. I don't know why, and I don't want to know why. I never want to question myself about what I'm listening to and why I'm listening to it. There's no reason. So it's just pretty much everything. As far as music is concerned, I come from a family where both my parents were trained classical singers,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, so
Not
everyone
know that.
sang really well. And I can't sing for nuts. I mean, I can hold a tune, but I can't sing. I have a terrible voice. But so
You
I
wanna
come from
try?
a background where Hanji.
You wanna try? Because the people
Oh no,
listening
no.
right now.
Absolutely not. If you have anyone listening to this, they'll run away. But
Okay.
I was a dancer when I was young, and I danced really well. I still dance really well, except that now it's not difficult. It's difficult to dance for a long time. But I was extremely good. I actually used to win dance competitions and stuff. So
Really?
yeah, really. Till I was almost 30 years old. I was a this dancer, who kind of danced the night away. And I've done lots of shows, dancing shows, taken shows, dancing shows all over the country, literally. And I started dancing when I was about 17, 16 or 17 years old. And so I did lots of shows. And so, I was a dancer, so I still dance. But that's the only kind of thing that I got from, maybe a genetic thing. But music, yes. but not singing and not playing any musical instrument. And I suck at that. I've tried everything. I've got a piano in my house, but I've never been able to play it. I
Which
had a
one is
piano.
it? Which
I had
one?
a, I had a
What piano do
piano.
you have? A
I had a
baby
piano.
grand or a
No,
grand
no,
grand?
it's a baby. It's a very tiny baby grand. But we had a huge grand piano in my house in Kashmir where I grew up. But I never learned how to play there as well. I got myself this piano here also, which is lying in my house. It looks really pretty, but I can't play a tune. I can't even do do re mi fa sol la ti do. I can't even do that. I mean, I'm just useless. And
Okay, when I'm
I
in
could never
Delhi, I'm
think
going
of
to
playing
play
the
your
guitar.
piano.
Never think of how.
I
I'm
play the piano.
useless.
I'm a trained pianist.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
wow.
guess you didn't. From
अरे
Trinity
वाह
College
भाई
in London.
शाबाश हमें कभी
I'm going
सुना
to
के
play your
दिखाएं
piano.
हमें कभी
One
सुना के
night.
दिखाएं आइए ना
जब हम आएंगे तब
हाँ
हम
महफिल तो लगनी ही चाहिए because like I said I grew up with those musical महफिल्स with a father on father on that my God I'm forgetting the name of it but what's that little tiny kind of thing with which you play with the air thing coming from the back
violin.
harmonium it's a harmonium
Or-
right. Yeah, so my father on the harmonium, my father and mother singing together, and people used to come from all over to listen to them sing because they were really fantastic. And I remember so many musical mehfils in our home in Kashmir. It was really fabulous. So I grew up with all of that, and my sisters used to both learn how to dance. They used to learn classical Hindi dancing. My eldest brother was a musician. He was in a rock band. He used to sing and play the drums, and me and my elder brother were completely with maybe not tone deaf, definitely not tone deaf, but couldn't sing, can't sing that. I mean, like I said, I can hold tune, but that's about it.
So there are two more questions. One is going to be a long answer. One might not be one. So one is, what can you not resist in life? What is the one thing that you cannot resist in life? Okay, the volume is gone. Your volume is gone.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
One thing that I cannot resist in life:
yeah.
beauty, in any
Good
form.
one.
Yeah, I can't resist beauty. I feel weak in the presence of beauty, and I have always felt weak in the presence of beauty. So that beauty could come in any form. It could be in the form of a beautiful boy, a beautiful man. It could be a beautiful girl. It could be a beautiful artifact, beautiful building, beautiful home, beautiful painting,
Garden.
beautiful art. It could just be anything beautiful and beautiful clothes. Obviously, I mean, like why would I not say that? I mean, that should I mean, but then that's so obvious. So I mean,
Of
you
course, yeah.
shouldn't
That's
really
what you do.
state the obvious always. But like I said, in beauty, any of its forms is something that I feel weak when I see. And I think, like they say, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. And I think I've actually taken this little phrase really entirely into my existence. And for me, a thing of beauty is a joy forever for me. So anything like I said, from a flower to even a beautifully cooked meal or beautifully laid
Yeah.
table,
Or
or
a beautiful sunset or
everything.
sunrise.
Yeah, everything from I mean, from a beautiful from caviar in a beautiful silver bowl to dal makhni in a beautiful matte ka bowl. Both I'll find beauty in both if they look beautiful.
Okay.
So it's not really
So,
about anything. It doesn't have to be fancy beauty. It could be
yeah, of course.
basic beauty. It could be
Raw
basic beauty,
beauty and
raw, basic,
artificial beauty,
or
anything that's beautiful.
anything that actually eventually ends up being beautiful. Most things are beautiful. I will say that, sounding very kind of holier than thou kind of rubbish. But I mean, everything you can find beauty in everything, like I said earlier. But there are certain things, like I said, you asked me a simple question: what is the one thing that I can't resist? And it's certainly in one word: beauty.
Good. It's my question. I call it the Rubina question. It's a bit personal. Do you believe in one big love of a lifetime, or do you think you stayed single by choice?
Well, I have had not one but two or three big loves in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and what's interesting is that those loves of my life are still loves of my life, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not been that okay, fine, that I've had this love and that love is no longer a part of my life. I've had two or three very big loves, and those are still part of my life. They're my best friends still. which is very unusual and very difficult for most people to understand and to get. Say, how can that even be? You know, how can you be friends with somebody that you've loved and that you're not in love? I said, I mean, so maybe our love was more than than just that love. Maybe it was just a love that was meant to last, you know, for all time or last in eternity till when we are. And so I actually I just think that if you find the right person, then that one love is enough for you. If you find that one person, but I think it's very difficult to find that just that one person.
One person.
And I've stayed single because I've had that love several times in my life, and right now I just feel it's time for me to play a little.
So how much are you playing?
They're playing. I'm not playing at all.
Happening?
How do you expect to play during COVID, for God's sake?
Okay,
No play, nothing. Sit at home and do knitting or something.
बेटा स्वेटर पहनो स्वेटर
हाँ बेटा स्वेटर पहन लो स्वेटर
पहनो
हाँ
नहीं
स्वेटर पहन लो तुसी हाँ जी तो स्वेटर पहन लो. So it's really like, you know, one love perfect if that one love is perfect. But that one love is very you know, it's not that one love doesn't happen all the time. But like I said, I'm open to it. I'm open to the one love. I'm keeping my options open, absolutely open.
Yeah.
And I will not I will not ever say that, oh my God, no, there's no time for me. There's no time in my life for that one love. Of course, there's all the time in my life for that one love.
Yeah.
Always. But I'm not looking for it. But I don't think you find that by looking. It just comes into your life, you know.
I actually love that you're open to love, the one big love, but you're not looking for it. Oh,
it'll hit you in your face or your mouth. But I'm sorry, you can edit that.
Don't crack me up now. I have to be a little serious and all.
Yeah, I know it's very serious, but I just said to you that love rules. I mean, there's nothing more incredibly beautiful than love. And like I said, I'm open to it. And so anyone out there listening to me, if you feel like loving me, please come love me.
Yes, everyone, please take note. So tell me, please tilt the camera a little bit to your face now, because people should really see you. Yeah, the Maharaja look, the couture king of India.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, now just please predict the trend. Like no, this is great. This is such a good look. Otherwise, I'm familiar with the architecture of your neck. Like I can't even tell you how much. Your architecture of your neck. Anyway. I know every line and frame now, because you've been like talking to me.
Okay, now I don't know where to look even.
No, you're fine. Okay. You're fine. Just go easy. Okay. You're fine. So what do you think is going to happen in this year? It's the first month of this year, and where do you think what's happening in terms of fashion? In terms of what are people going to be veering towards wearing other than bridal?
Well, people are hardly wearing bridal anyway. I mean, there's not many weddings, but I think all the weddings have been postponed to April. But I think everything is gone dead simple. And people are wearing really simple clothes. There's nowhere to go. And people aren't going anywhere. So why on earth would they all kind of dress up? Why on earth would you think I'm wearing brocade sherwanis and sitting at home? I mean, you know.
I am imagining that. No one else.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that very simple. And I think this month we're already in this month. We're in the middle of this month, and for a few months to come, it's going to remain very simple. And I think what's happened with COVID is that it's taught us a very valuable lesson. And the lesson is that we can really do with much less than what we actually use. And that goes for fashion as well. And I think even though that's not very good for our business, but we've done new collections now, which are very affordable and extremely well priced and very easy clothing. And
are you talking about balance? Or
we're talking about balance. Yeah, balance is part of my company. We're talking about balance, and we're just making that collection much bigger than it is right now. And so what's happening is that people also are looking a lot at sustainable fashion. People want to wear clothes that they can wear for a long time. It's still all very uncertain. Even with the vaccine, it's also uncertain. So basically, people are going to buy very easy clothes, very simple clothes that they can wear all the time, wear at home, even wear outside if they go outside, because there's nothing happening outside. And so people are, this the concept of occasion wear, unless it's a wedding outfit, is dead. There's nothing known
Right.
as occasion wear. There's
Right.
nothing known as a festive collection or this or that. It's just basically very simple clothing which you can wear very easily. You don't need to so you don't have to think 100 times before buying it, because it's not expensive. And as long as people eat, people will wear clothes as well. No one,
Right.
not everyone like me running around without any clothes. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that fashion has, and I think that even when and if, again, I will say, inshallah, if things come back to normal, whether it's a new normal or whatever normal is going to be, people are still going to follow this trend for a while. Because
Yes, I see that too.
once you get used to simplicity, it's very, very difficult to get away from it, because simplicity is very addictive. It's very addictive. And flamboyance and very ornate things, or very, very sort of uh, very kind of complicated things. These are all fads and phases, and they come and they go. But the concept of simplicity will always be there. And now with COVID, when people have actually been forced literally to go to the simpler way of life, they're going to stick to it. I think they're going to stick to it. I don't think that this trend is going to go.
Yeah.
It's something that's going to stay forever. People might start doing other stuff, and they might start indulging, as we say. But this whole mindset of everyone on this planet has changed. I think
Yes.
people's priorities have changed. People are prioritizing different things right now. Their priority is health, their priority is well-being, their priority is surviving, the priority is looking after their families, not about what they're wearing.
Yes.
that
Yes.
that is not a priority anymore. It was never a priority, but it was important to a certain
Yeah.
degree. That importance has been taken away from it. So
Yes.
fashion is not a priority anymore for anyone.
Flashing the fashion, that
Yes,
priority
yes.
is
There
dead.
is that priority is gone, and we've got to live with that fact, accept it gracefully, and and as like evolved human beings, we've got to understand that this is not what people are looking for these days, and
Yeah.
that is why I feel that this trend of simplicity and austerity, almost austerity, is going to last for a long time to come.
Yes,
It's going to
indeed.
last for a long time to come. And I'm not saying that people will suddenly stop sitting in their fancy cars and go around in on bicycles. Something that I wish that could happen, but that's not going to happen. But I'm saying just generally things like going out, lavish spending, lavish parties, lavish get-togethers. Like I said, what I call a caviar champagne type of uh, do's. I mean, all of those I think are a thing of the past right now. I mean, there might be a slight burst of energy in as far as all of these things are concerned for a little while, if
Yeah.
things get okay. But then I
Like
think
fits and spurts of it.
people will realize the futility of it and the waste of it, and they're actually going to say, I think we were just happier that way. You know, the air is cleaner, everything is purer, everything is. Things have. COVID, of course, outside of the fact that it's really, really, really horrible that people have been affected by it
Catastrophe.
so
Yeah.
intensely, but it's also done quite a few good things.
Yes. Like everything in life, there's a good and a bad to
Yeah,
everything.
there they are. But I'm not saying that COVID has been good for humans from any angle. But if you look at the planet is kind of cleansing itself, and there's less pollution. Even though right now, of course, Delhi is highly polluted. But I'm just saying that this is just one city. But like I said, that this trend of simplicity and almost kind of borderline austerity is going to stay for a while.
Yeah. So Rohit, I can't thank you enough for
Of course, you
indulging me
can.
in
You
this
can thank me. You can thank
conversation.
me a lot.
Okay, I will
Oh,
in private. I think publicly I must be very
I
austere with
see.
my gratitude. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for your
That was
time.
clever. Thank you so much. It was lovely, very interesting to talk to you, and I think it was a fabulous chat. And
Thank you.
you asked me some really interesting questions that I maybe wanted to answer for a while, and
Thank you.
that happened today. So God bless. Stay safe, and I'll say
Thank
this to everyone who's listening: please stay safe. That should be your only priority right now. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless.
Thank you, Rohit. Lots
Ciao.
of
Thank
love.
you so much, Rubina. Lots of love to you too.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
Namaste.
Namaste ji.
Namaste ji. Namaste ji. All the best.
Adab arze, adab
Adab,
arze.
adab, adab. Namaste.
Khuda
Pranam.
hafiz.
Pranam. Khuda hafiz. Bye bye. Adios.
Bye.
Cheerio.
See you.
Ciao.